Did you know that the Oriental Magpie-Robin is the national bird of Bangladesh? That's only natural because Oriental Magpie-Robins are widely spread in various cities and villages in that country. In fact, in Indonesia, the plural Oriental Magpie-Robin is found. But unfortunately, here they are popular as pet birds. Because of that, they are often hunted and captured. Their status is still in the least concern category. But that doesn't mean we have to be complacent. If we continue to hunt them, they may become rare in the wild one day. That's why deHakims Aviary brought in the Oriental Magpie-Robin as an effort to preserve these birds. Yes, in this video, we will see the release of the Oriental Magpie-Robin in the aviary.
It's the aviary!
What bird is this? Oriental Magpie-Robin. A pair of Oriental Magpie-Robins. Good. Oriental Magpie-Robin. The Oriental Magpie-Robin or Causyca solaris is a species of bird initially grouped as a member of the thrush family, Turdidae. However, entering the 21st century, they are categorized into the Old World flycatcher or Muscicapidae family. They are medium-sized songbirds with about 19 to 21 centimeters body length. This size includes their long tail. Male birds have physical characteristics in the form of black and white feathers, while the female bird is grayish-black on the top of the body and grayish-white on the underside of the body. The Oriental Magpie-Robin consists of 13 subspecies spread over several countries, and some of them have slightly different physical characteristics that are pretty prominent. For example, the race in Sri Lanka and India. Causyca solaris ceylonensis has physical similarities between males and females. In addition to South Asia, Oriental Magpie-Robin is also spread from southern China to Southeast Asia. In Indonesia itself, they can be found in Sumatra, Borneo, Java, and Bali. They inhabit various habitats, ranging from open forests, mangroves, cultivated land, to plantation areas close to human settlements, with an altitude of up to 2,000 meters above sea level. For sure, these stocky birds do not like dense forests. The Oriental Magpie-Robin is a very active bird, especially foraging, usually in the evening. Their food is insects that roam the ground, such as ants, centipedes, beetles, caterpillars, or crickets. But sometimes, they also eat geckos, sponges, fish, fruit that falls from trees, and nectar. They usually fly short distances like terrestrial birds. Although they are pretty fast, they are often seen foraging on the ground or jumping between tree branches and perching on them, either alone or in pairs. The male Oriental Magpie-Robin often acts aggressively in the breeding season. They will react violently if they hear other males chirping or see their reflection in the mirror. They act like that, not without reason. They do it to protect their territory and nest. Usually, they are alone more often, although they will often be with their partners during the breeding season. They nest anywhere, from holes in trees or buildings to nest boxes or mailboxes. Do you remember the bird species in deHakims aviary that also likes to make nests in tree holes? You don't need to answer now. Let's go back to discussing the unique characteristics of the Oriental Magpie-Robin. So, when they forage, perch, or jump, they will lift their tail, but they will lower their tails to their normal position again when they sing. They are also the type of bird that pays attention to the cleanliness of their bodies. They often clean their bodies in puddles of clean rainwater, then preen while basking in the sun. However, of all the characteristics they have, the most impressive advantage of the Oriental Magpie-Robin is their very melodious chirping and singing, although males are usually more vocal than females. Another great thing is that they can also imitate the sounds of other birds and incorporate them into their singing. And they also sometimes like to sound suddenly at night. In addition to singing, they can also communicate through different calls, depending on environmental conditions. For example, rooting calls, submissive calls, begging calls, and threat calls. However, their singing skills and intelligence make the Oriental Magpie-Robin a popular pet and caged bird, especially if we talk about Southeast Asia and Indonesia, where contests of chirping birds abound. In Indonesia, the population of these birds in the wild is decreasing from year to year. On the other hand, the market demand for Oriental Magpie-Robin is still relatively high. This is evident from the high number of cases of Oriental Magpie-Robin smuggling from Malaysia to Indonesia. Based on the findings of traffic and the Department of Wildlife and National Parks of Peninsular Malaysia, there were at least 26,950 Oriental Magpie-Robins that had been confiscated from 2015 to 2020. Worse, the total number of traded birds occurred in only 44 cases. 64% of seized birds were sold from Malaysia to Indonesia, and 66% occurred in 2020. That doesn't mean Oriental Magpie-Robin is only famous in Indonesia. The demand for Oriental Magpie-Robin is also very high in Malaysia. These birds have become one of the most traded species in the local Malaysian market. This case, once again, seems to remind us that cooperation between countries is essential to prevent the illegal trade of birds. Not only that, it is time to strengthen laws and regulations so that bird species such as the Oriental Magpie-Robin are included in the list of protected animals.